Hey, where'd you get the idea for potato?
Yeah, originally it was supposed to be kind of like a joke on Brian Stelter, but I don't like doing impressions.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be him.
It wouldn't be clearly him. It's just the idea of like he's just kind of like this.
That's what spawned it.
You look at him and go, why is he on there? Like, why does anybody watch this guy? Or like, how did he get hired? Doesn't make any sense. But in my mind, it's just like that. Why did they hire a potato?
And now, the Babylon Bees topic of the week.
All right, everybody. If you notice that Ethan has bags under his eyes and...
Do I?
And, just generally is less coherent these days, it's because he stays up till like 3 a.m. every day working on animation.
Mm-hmm.
And we had someone at our studio the other day that was like, where's your, or at our office the other day that was like, where's your animation studio? And we pointed at Ethan's office. We're like, right there. That's where it all happens. Well, most of it. So we wanted to just kind of walk you through some of the bee animation that we've done recently.
It's like the behind the scenes.
And I don't know exactly what our plan is for this. We're going to play them and then we're going to talk over them or something. But
yeah, the whole animation thing started with I had been wanting to do it.
Yeah.
We had a fan named Austin Robertson who just started sending us audio that was so, I could see the cartoon when he'd send this audio in. And I think the first thing we did what was the very first thing we did with him? It wasn't animation. It was
the weatherman, the murder front.
Murder front. I thought we did something before the Grinch one with Gavin.
Oh, that's right, where it was just the song.
Yeah, it was just like a poem. So, and then he just started sending us our own stories read in his newscaster voice. And so I go, we could make just a simple cartoon out of this, just like talking heads, that I could crank out in a week.
And well, before that, you had been showing me these little puppets you were doing.
I was working on ideas.
On your animation thing of like, oh, we could have Nancy Pelosi yapping if we ever wanted to animate it. And he's got this horrifying Nancy Pelosi whose mouth is like doing this.
Yeah, she moves when you move on the camera.
Oh, yeah. And so I could talk to the computer and it was like...
Yeah. A lot of behind the scenes experimentation.
We have to pass it to find out what's in it. And she's going like this. And
so I saw this as a very producible way to just get these going.
Yeah.
And so we made the first one, which is the Chicago Murder Front one. And it was just talking heads. But even then it immediately became more complex than what I had planned to do because there's always something funnier you can do with another visual.
Yeah, that's kind of on you.
Yeah.
I mean that in a good way.
No, I'm me. Because
you see the scene and you're like, okay, that works.
If I see a thing that will make it better, I can't not do it. Right. That's the hard part. Yeah. So, as soon as we made that one, we went, hey, let's do a weekly. And
huge mistake.
And pretty quickly, as soon as we started doing that, we started realizing we can do characters. We can do things we can't do in the articles. So we can have characters that can interact, hate each other, just do stuff that you can't do. So we started playing with those character ideas and stuff. So that's when we brought Bridget Fedesi on to do Samantha, one of our news anchors. So anyway, it grew very quickly. It became crazy producing these things 1 week at a time. And, but it's been a blast because it's something I've wanted to do. I just never had the bandwidth. So thanks for the opportunity.
Hey, where'd you get the idea for potato? Everybody loves potato, man.
Yeah, people like them. Well, yeah.
We need the potato plushie.
Brian Stelter.
You squeeze it and the bow tie spins.
Yeah, the spinning bow tie. He needed the bow tie. Yeah.
We need it.
Yeah, that was another one he was supposed to see simple, but I just gave him 6,000 facial expressions.
Just way too much.
He's fun. He's fun to watch. Yeah, originally he was supposed to be kind of like a joke on Brian Stelter, but I don't like doing impressions.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be him.
It wouldn't be clearly him. It's just the idea of he's just kind of like this.
That's what spawned it.
Why do they... Mainly you look at Brian Stelter and go, is it Stelter or Stetler? Stelter. You look at him and go, why is he on there? Why does anybody watch this guy? Or how did he get hired? Doesn't make any sense. But in my mind, it's just like that. Why did they hire a potato? It doesn't make any sense. He just yells and it's weird. That's it. So speaking of getting out of hand, we want to, I don't know what order we want to watch these in, but it kind of all culminated in our, we started trying to take on more complex ones. And I have a few people that help with some of the minor parts of the animation. Then we did this Halloween special. Have we talked about the Halloween special on the show, or did we just release it?
I'm sure we mentioned it, but I don't think we went all in depth on it.
Yeah.
You want to watch it? Let's
watch it.
Halloween special. Go.
Mom, do we have to go to school today?
Yes, Cooper. Of course you do.
Did you know America was formed in 1619 and 1776? It's already framing. It's true. And it's racist to say otherwise. What the?
Wait, pause it, Dan.
Hey, Rebecca, what's the name of that?
What? Whose kid was that in the beginning? You
I think that was Frank Fleming's kid.
Oh, one of Frank's kids.
Yeah, one of Frank's kids.
One of Frank's many, many children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say it was Frank's son.
So this
It
idea
might have been Little Frank. I can't remember.
The idea for this
Does
came
he have
from
Little Frank? Maybe.
Frank Jr. too. The idea for this came from one of our animation writers who does a lot of it, right? Who does a lot of our
He's an
sketches.
excellent writer. He currently works in animation. That is why he does not want to be named.
Yeah, and what I love about this one is it's just exactly how it feels on Twitter.
Yeah.
That you're just like minding your own business on Twitter and you say whatever, and then someone comes along like,
Yeah.
America was actually founded in 1619, and you're just like, what? Just it's exactly how it feels.
I was getting ready to show this, an early version of this to my wife, the rough animatic I had done. And she is like, our daughter just came in and just blurted out this like thing about, fetuses being parasites or some crazy thing. Like, where does she get this stuff? Then I'm like, well, actually, can't you relate to this?
All right, continue.
That actor in that show I like?
You need to be more specific, Dad.
You know, the one that's on at 8:30? Or maybe it's not.
Respecting someone's personal pronouns is an easy thing to do, and getting it wrong even just one time is literally
I like the Terminator influence.
Did you see Gary's
Hey, there's
email?
me. That's my voice.
Yeah,
You did it.
That's the funniest email.
And Gavin animated him to look like
What is that?
True socialism has never been tried, but the monsters who have tried socialism and caused the death of countless people are all heroes of mine.
I like that the hallway was long enough for him to say all that.
thirsty little flowers.
You can't be racist toward white people.
It's good when someone who disagrees with me politically dies!
Let's go.
That was you, right? Yeah.
That's a parasite! Quick! Inside!
There's our hero.
You'll be safe here. I'll protect you from the crazies.
Old timey music.
We need to sell that mug. Hey, America.
You know, the only thing holding black people back is they won't pull themselves up by their bootstraps.
Subscribe.
So that was we had a little under 2 weeks to get that thing done, and it was a project, man.
Let's talk about that ending. I'm offended.
That was funny to see. That was like total test of like people can take a joke,
Or if they watched all the way to the end.
yeah, or if they watched all the way to the end. Yeah, it's totally true.
We talked about doing different endings where it's a little more mild, where he says something like, "Oh, you know, the Earth is flat," or whatever.
Or yeah,
think
make
we
it
had
a little more mild because
Yeah.
we do get a lot of hate when we insult Trump supporters or something, I guess.
But we decided in the end
We
just
had to
go right for the joke.
Yeah, we gotta go-
Well,
we were
absolutely
going-
shredding the other side,
Yeah.
so we had to.
We had to be fair and balanced.
Yeah.
But so 3 main animators worked on that. Plus, so like we each took chunks. I did the majority of it, but it was crazy to work on. I'm really proud of how it turned out, though. I mean, it's the most ambitious thing I've worked on so far.
When you're doing these animations, how much of it changes from the time you like write the original radio play or you record the original radio play and you start animating on top of it, and then how much changes after that? Like you're adding jokes or you're adding.
Mainly well, luckily the guy that wrote this, who cannot be named, wrote an amazing. He just nailed it on this. He nails his scripts. They're almost always pretty good. Like they're pretty much ready to go, which is hard to find. And
we'll name him Kevin Kielberg.
Kevin.
We're not saying his name sounds like that, but it's not.
Kevin
Kielberg.
Kevin. So first thing we did is record a rough radio play. So we just do all the voices and then create an audio version of the whole thing. And then I do like a scribbled out radio play test. You could throw some of that up there. You can kind of see the process, but so that kind of times out the whole thing. So we can start animating before we get all the final voices recorded. But it times it out to that. So we got that done. I think the main thing that changes over it is just the subtle. A lot of visual jokes are worked into. They call it the animatic. When I kind of scribble across the audio and do kind of a rough draft of the whole thing, and then I think I'm trying to think of like any. There's also jokes that kind of get added on, like when you add the guy's house. There's little funny pictures on the walls and stuff like that. But
yeah.
It's the audio is locked in pretty early on because all the animation is timed to it. So if you mess with it, it just messes with everybody's. You'll start having people killing themselves.
So you want that radio play to be as tight and final as you can.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, tell me more about.
Fascinating. It's basically like all other animations made. So
So, but this is much more South Park schedule than Simpsons schedule.
Right. Yeah. And that was the other thing. I was like, I'm just going to do South Park level animation, and I couldn't bring myself to do it that limited, and I think that this idea for this family Halloween sketch was out of an idea there's kind of this dream project that I think a lot of us here would like to do, would be our version of a South Park or a Simpsons or something.
Yeah, you have a family.
And so this is our first one with them, but we released one this week with the same family, which was one of our first ideas. I think me and Frank were talking about this idea of like, wouldn't it be so cool if we could do like a Simpsons type show? And one of the first concepts we came up with, we were talking about what are some things you go through as a family where it feels like you're just trying to be normal, but the world around you is insane. And one of the ones I thought of was our daughter wanted to go to like a Post Malone concert. She never heard of him, but her friend was going, and their family was all going and bringing like their 5-year-old and stuff. Like this, just, I don't know, as far as we checked the lyrics out and stuff. Like, this is like terrible.
Yeah, I'm a pre-millennialist.
You're pre-millennialist.
Myself.
Yeah. And, it made us feel like we're the crazy ones because we're like, we don't think a 12-year-old should go to this concert.
Yeah.
Maybe. And so we came to this idea of like, what if, your daughter really wants to go to a concert and it's Satan?
I think you just take your exact experience of talking to your daughter and you just put Satan in place of the artist.
Satan in there because that's how it feels, right? Well, that's what I love about these cartoons. Like it expresses like a feeling in this crazy world, right? The Halloween one, I think, nails it.
And we got to add that we're going to watch this, but it is Satan one. But we got to add that Ethan went into a professional recording studio and recorded this entire song called "Kill Your Parents" for this, and it's stuck in my head. So let's watch the Satan one. It's very sitcom.
Dad, can I please go to a concert with Stephanie tonight?
Sounds fun. What's the band?
Did your
It's
daughter
a
record these
band
lines, or is that
called Satan.
fantasy?
That's Bridget.
Wait.
Yeah.
This is Satan.
No way. Nope. Not happening.
Please, Dad. I heard he had a rough past or something. People can change, right? He won a Grammy. He's doing the music for Disney's live-action remake of Oliver and Company. It's Disney.
It's Satan.
Let's all just calm down. We should hear her out. Our parents didn't like our music either. You even went through a Slipknot phase.
I did my time.
It's not a phase. It's a way of life. But this is different.
That's my favorite part.
Satan might make great music.
It's all
but,
downhill from here.
He's Satan.
I mean, let's just look at some of the song titles. Release the Murder Hornets.
Yeah, he's an animal rights activist.
Is racism that bad, really?
He's starting a dialogue.
Push old people.
Push them toward a healthy retirement.
Kill your parents. Kill your parents? What?
It's a metaphor.
Let's just listen to it and see.
All right.
It's pretty harmless so far.
Everybody listen up. Stop to kill your hammers. Kill your hammers. This is not a metaphor. It doesn't have to be a joke. Kill your hammers. Kill your
Honey, you're getting older and more mature, and we're not going to be able to control the content you consume forever.
So I can go?
No, of course you cannot go to the concert with the devil himself as the headliner.
Dad.
Look, your dad and I are cool. We
I like that Satan
get
plays
art.
soft pop.
So before we make a final decision, let's list some
Instead of
pros
rock and
and
roll
cons.
or rap. Or
Okay,
something.
con, she kills us.
Pro, she likes us for like a day.
Con, we will be dead.
Pro, we go with her, and you can justify wearing your jean jacket again.
Unlike previous generations, our fashion will never go out of style.
True.
All right, you can go, but we go with you.
Deal.
I'll get my jean jacket.
And you promise this is all just art and not something we should be worried about.
I swear on my iPhone's life.
This is not.
Guess it wasn't a metaphor after all.
But this is growing on me. Satan knows how to drop a beat. Kill your pants. Kill your pants.
This is not a metaphor. Doesn't have to be true. I'm beginning to agree. What?
I like the dad, mom, dad. It's just a metaphor. And then the song, this is not a metaphor.
Yeah, that's the other part of it. There's another line of argument in there that got cut from the script where she's like, I wouldn't even know how to kill you. Like, I can't work a gun or anything like that. Like, it's too complicated. And in the song, it's like, it doesn't have to be complicated. And then it talks about you just grab a kitchen knife, be serrated. And so you can just use household items. It's really simple.
Is that in the full song?
Yeah. So the full song you can find on YouTube. It links it at the end there.
Has
And
YouTube
we
not
posted
pulled
the
our
entire
song?
song.
YouTube has not censored our "Kill Your
So
Parents."
far,
song
they
yet?
haven't. Yeah. I'm curious.
So we get censored for like talking about COVID or politics or this or that, but we post a song called "Kill Your Parents."
I'm
where it's
curious
like
if you
literally
put
"Kill
it
Your Parents"
on-
by Satan.
Because you can do the auto-generated closed captions.
Yeah.
I wonder if YouTube can tell that we're saying you kill your parents. Right? Because that's what it bases it off of.
All right.
If the audio thing
Predicts
can
it.
recognize it. Because the way we're singing, it's like, parents. So maybe it doesn't sound like parrots or something.
Yeah. Your parents. Kill your Paris.
Yeah. So yeah, there's like 10 seconds of the song in there. I went into the studio and I just had this stock pop song, and we were just going to do the chorus and a verse, but then realized like, well, then you just copy the chorus. You got a whole song. It's like so close to being done. And so I did all the male vocals on it. And then I knew the guy at the studio, his daughter, she's like 14, but she has an amazing voice. And like, she wants to throw a few vocals on there just to kind of back it up. So then he sends me the file later in the day. I'm like, holy cow, this thing turned out it's like radio quality. It sounds awesome. It's so catchy. That one did have some jokes added towards the end. Like I felt like it needed just a bit more. So like kind of like that Slipknot moment. I added that right kind of last minute. Just like it needed that, like, you know, adding the Disney theme when she talks, just adding little things. With you know, part of it is the breakneck speed with which we're producing these things. If we had the time, you could like really like kind of storyboard it out and like be like a joke could go there, cram in more jokes. But anyway, I'm self-criticizing.
And the animation was like that setup is probably a lot easier than something like the Halloween one, because most of it is standing in
well, the
living
Halloween
room.
one, everything has not been created yet.
Yeah,
So
and you had to create all
at
the
least on
assets.
this one is created, but still this one was way more work than I thought it'd be.
Yeah.
Because you just need to. It's boring if they just stand there and don't do anything.
Yeah.
Or if they just talk and their mouth moves. Like it's just not enough. You need their eyes and everything to do stuff. And then there's a lot of the kinds of animations just hold. You know, you could make one mistake and it messes the whole file up. And then there's the glitchiness of these programs and stuff. There's just all this stuff that is not interesting to talk about that you spend an entire day on.
So when are we going to get some Korean animation slaves?
Yeah, I don't know. That's up to Seth, I guess.
All right.
Yeah. What I mean, if you're watching this and you're like, if you're an animator and you're, especially if you're a good artist, you got timing, people like that, I'm looking for people like you. If you want to, I don't know, at one point we'll be able to afford you, but come out of the woodwork. Send us a message. So
Let's this one, I really like the Halloween one. I can't decide if I like the Halloween one or this one best, but
we're doing all our darkest, most psycho ones.
Let's do that. I mean, we could just do one of the normal news ones, but I mean, people get that.
Yeah.
They've probably seen those.
We could do, yeah. Well, we should do this one because this is our top performing one. Besides, well, I think also I guess we really did start Better Cops is really our first one.
Oh yeah,
because that was kind of our test, kind of trying to test out the animation, and then our news show, which we're calling Babylon News Network at the time or right now, kind of just jumped the gun. We just started doing that.
Yeah, because you got to just start doing it.
Just had to, just went for it.
All right, this is Amy Coney Barrett holds up a crucifix, and let's see what happens.
I'm Guy Curtis.
And I'm Samantha Kurlach.
And this is the Babylon News Network, a mask for your brain, protecting it from the infection of bad ideas. We now take you live to our continued coverage of the Senate confirmation hearings as Amy Coney Barrett arrives on scene. Have a great confirmation, honey.
Hey, honey, bye-bye. Love you.
Honey, bye-bye, love you. Does Frank write all those little intros where he's like, a mask for your
Those are mostly Frank.
brain?
Yeah.
Give us an insight into how you can be so unequivocal in opposing some majority decisions, but can have an open mind when it comes to the future of the Affordable Care Act.
Senator, I am not hostile to the Affordable Care Act.
How can you make a decision on gun control if you own a gun? Do you own a gun? How many guns do you own?
Hi, honey. Can you count the guns? No one cares about your crossbow. Don't include the crossbow. And he's going to include the crossbow. Senator, are you eating a giant cockroach?
It feeds the evil growing inside me, and it's also full of protein. But I'll ask the questions around here. Pop quiz, what religion are you?
Oh, I'm just plain old Catholic. See if I can hold a reaction. It's not even from a church. It's from CVS.
Okay. If appointed, will you overturn Roe v. Wade? This is an important one for us.
Important because you care about women's rights?
Yeah, that's why. Now answer the question.
Well, Roe is not a super precedent.
Vomit sprinkler.
If you say anything other than Roe v. Wade is super cool.
I will not. If you want my Roe v. Wade, the issue is about, would you like something for your tummy? This is a disgrace for the Constitution. The power of the Constitution compels you. The power of the Constitution compels you. Come into me. Come into me.
Some very tough questions there. Well, that's it for this week. Remember, if anything bad happens to you, it's because you didn't listen to journalists. Good night.
7 kids? I'm out of here. Time for soccer practice.
I liked all the people that were really confused. Oh, Potato!
Here's Potato.
Subscribe! Yeah!
There he is. I like when the people who had never seen The Exorcist were really confused.
My Potato.
Well, they were confused. People who
they'd never seen the Exorcist movie. Yeah.
They were confused as to why she's like, "Come into me, come into me." Like, what are you talking about? And like, why she gets possessed at the end and all that.
Yeah.
So
that was the voice. There was Bridget Nelson, wife of Mike Nelson of Mystery Science Theater, Riff Tracks.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one we
insane.
cranked out in a week, and that was insane.
and I remember we're talking
there's
about
so many things I would do different if I had more time on that.
That's
It's
great.
really hard for me to watch.
We're talking about the animation in the beginning when we're writing this, and we're like, maybe we just have the people like just kind of.
Oh,
the crowd just kind of bounces around or whatever, and we just focus on one senator, and then you guys just went insane.
Well, what happened with that? Because I outsourced the other senators bouncing, and I just kind of provided them with artwork to kind of piece together puppets. And I'm just like, all I want, I just don't have time to do this, is just create like one of them kind of bouncing like this, and one where they're bouncing more like this, and one where they're bouncing more like this as it intensifies. And then, so the guy that I outsourced that to, he just he spent way too much time on it. It does look great. It was way more than I wanted, but that's got the guys like jerking their heads around and freaking out and stuff like that. And it's great, but it costed us
too much money.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, this is coming out Friday. What's the next video that we have coming?
So the next one we're doing is Guy Curtis will infiltrate Antifa.
Oh, this is a funny one.
Yeah. And it's our most, well, I guess that counts as a BNN episode, but yeah, it's one of our more ambitious ones. He's going to go out on the street. He's going to meet him, and he's going to find out that like they kind of need a father figure.
It's touching.
It's very touching.
It's sweet and touching. See, we like to humanize our political opponents.
Yeah.
Like Antifa. All right, well, if you want to check out animation that we're doing that Ethan's working so hard on, youtube.com/thebabylonbee. Maybe you're watching this on YouTube, maybe you're listening, but subscribe there. And we're doing a video a week right now. We may take some time off for the holidays, and we're doing a little bit of a reboot of the BNN eventually here.
Mm-hmm.
So renaming.
We're going to take, I think, after this next one, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to take like a few weeks, maybe 2 weeks or something, a break on it to get ahead, because we've been on this 1 week per cartoon thing, which is kind of an insane thing to jump into, especially not having experience really cranking out animation. So yeah, we're going to get a little ahead of it, but we have some really ambitious ones planned out. We got a lot of ideas. We're going to do more Better Cops episodes, and we're going to kind of do a new format for the news show. BNN will become The Talk Down with Guy Curtis. We're working on that. And then we have some other shorts with the family and some other stuff like that. So excited to see where it goes.
It's awesome. One thing is I love about the animation is that the obvious thing for us to do as the Babylon Bee was to launch like the talking heads sitting at the desk, like me and you putting on suits and sitting there going, at a local church today, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. That was the obvious step. So to be able to do something that really distinguishes the Babylon Bee, like doing a full animation channel.
Yeah, that's something I like about
it. Very unique for our kind of satire.
It breaks us from that like accusation of just being a copy of The Onion.
Yeah,
it helps us to become our own thing. And I'm all about that.
Yeah. So anyway, check it out. youtube.com/thebabylonbee. And yeah, it's very, very cool.
There's a whole playlist, animation playlist.
There's an animation playlist on there. And I just want to say, comment.
Subscribe!
And share.
Sure! Oh, hello there. You must have just watched one of our videos. Thank you for doing that. I'm Ethan, and this is the Babylon Bee, obviously. And click like. Just want to remind you. Subscribe. Hit the little bell, whatever that thing does. Comment. We read them all. Check out more of our videos because we make them for people like you.